And we are live sound on. Greetings, beautiful individuals. This is your girl, Fineapple Kouassi with
Miss Cakes.
And you know what it is. We coming to you with another one. And we're here to have those intentional and unintentional conversations about life. Okay. So, how was your week? You over there seeming kind of acting like a Debbie Downer.
Shut the
Miss Cakes, talk to us. Talk to us. What's going on,
here
girl?
trying to put me on blast.
Talk to us. What's going on?
I was about to sit here and just keep it super, super positive.
I'm not putting you on blast.
Fuck up, man. This bitch. This week it's been pretty smooth for the most part. Couple hiccups, you know what I'm saying? But
that's life. Boop, boop, fade. Yeah. Catching the fade.
Overall, though, it's been a good week. I mean, coming into a new month, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I feel like last month was, like, very productive. Like, I got a lot done. We got a lot done.
Yeah, we've been grinding.
Yeah. Showing, like, some real consistency with some of the things that we've started. So, but this week kind of, I continue to keep busy. But, like, one of my biggest, like, accomplishments this week, I would say, had to do with, like, budgeting. Kind of like
always a win. Always a win.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I spend money just as quick as I get it. You know what I mean? As I earn it. Mm-hmm. Like, as soon as it's in my hand, I'm trying to figure. I already got somewhere where it's spent. So I've been doing really good this week. I've been really proud of myself. So I'd say that it's been good. To finally focus on, like, my finances in certain areas where I need to. So, yeah, I've been sticking to my motherfucking budget.
We know that, yeah. And, sticking to a budget isn't easy, though.
I don't usually budget at all. I'm not used to budgeting for shit. So, being on a budget, like, girl, I fucking I ain't ate noodles in forever. I usually be like, oh, DoorDash, mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
And that adds up real quick.
Yeah, or especially quick
$50 here,
yeah, like $30, $40 for one little measly ass meal that don't even be, really up to par. Mm-hmm. Some regular ass, fast food or something. So, no, I've been doing good. I've been eating at home. I've been cooking. My baby's just been happy. Mama been cooking more. Just eating in. I got plenty of shit at the house. So I'll just be like, DoorDash. So, but I've been doing better. So, yeah, I say that's kind of like my accomplishments for the week.
I'm proud of you with the budgeting.
Attention. You know how I am.
But that's the first step to, like, financial freedom and getting your finances in order, because it's hard to stick to a budget. Life is unpredictable. You don't know what's going to pop up. If it's not one thing, it's another. Mm-hmm. So, I know how that is.
How about you?
Yay. Well, you know how it's been for me, ups and downs for the last episode. But for me, I'm glad I've been productive. Like you said, we've been moving and grooving, getting a lot of stuff done. But man, I'm just happy. I will say that my ebook is almost done. So the Wastebook Culture ebook is almost done. Been working on that for a while. So that'll be dropping pretty soon. Got a couple more things to get done. As far as this test, I had to push the test back. I had to push it back. I pushed it back because I haven't had time to really... My mental state, like, has not been there. Like, I would try to study and read, comprehend, and I'm thinking about a whole bunch of other things because, I can't focus. And I don't want to take my medication because, like, granted, all the different situations that's been going on in my life, loss and all this stuff, like, I just have to take a minute because mentally I could not focus. And I'm just like, let me... Be realistic with yourself, Fineapple Kouassi. You're not going to keep paying to take this test. Are you ready to take this test next week? No. And I was not. So I pushed it back. And, of course, who's texting me like, oh, that's far away. Well, it's far away to you, but it's fine for me. Like, I'm not going to allow anyone to rush me into.
When did you reschedule it for?
The end of the month. So
and that was supposed to be too long?
I guess for him, it's the end of this month. So I was going to take it at the beginning of the new month, but I was like, I need time. Like, I need to study more. Yeah. So I pushed it to the end of the month, and I'll be way more prepared. Like, I took the 2 weeks off so I can mentally get back to where I need to be.
Do you get test anxiety at all?
Yeah. Remember middle college? So we were in a high school where we were actually in high school, but at a junior college at the same time. So, like, the testing anxiety, it does come, but more for me, it's more studying to focus, having a clear mind where I could sit down and comprehend and focus long enough to study and comprehend and remember the material. So, I don't really think that it's test anxiety until, sometimes the test day come and then I'll just be like, do I remember all this stuff? I get to second guessing myself and questioning myself. But then I just, calm down and I'll be fine.
You just, you relax and trying to just could tap into what you know. Yeah, well, that's why it's so important for you to actually, like, really absorb it too. You know what I mean?
And then I've actually, like, some of this stuff, like I said, I've been applying. So I actually do have a policy, have IUL. So a lot of that I want to make more sense of so that when I'm done, I can move on and make the process and actually start helping individuals get policies for themselves, but help them according to what their financial situation is. So aligned with some other things that I've been working on in the background personally for myself to set myself up for financial freedom and building my wealth. So once I finish building those pillars and I see that, okay, it's successful, then I'll share. Because I like to see the social proof before I start telling everybody about it. I'm not the type of person I'm like, oh, I heard about this, you should go try it. Like, I like to hear about something, try it, see the social proof for me actually doing it, actually work before I tell my peoples about it. You know what I'm saying?
And you should know the ins and outs of some shit before you go recommending it
And I like to move in silence. I'm a person that really moves in silence. I don't really talk about what I'm doing. I just do it. And then after it's like, oh, I didn't know you were doing that. You weren't, because I didn't tell nobody I was doing it until I just told you now. So, I'm working on that. But I am excited that at least this weekend we get to go to LA and work on our own little special project. So, I mean, that's up and up, aside from everything else. So we actually get some help. We're going to try to get in the studio and do our Tuck Fizzle. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. The homie said he going to help us out, And it's always good to, have friends that are in different areas of professions that can actually help us out.
I am not a rapper.
Yeah, he's probably gonna be roasting and clowning us, but it's okay. We have fun. So we're trying to vlog that experience for y'all.
We gonna come up with some fire.
We're gonna come up with some fire shit. We'll we'll do our best to vlog that whole experience in that weekend and post that up on the YouTube channel. And speaking of, since we talking about that, we gotta pay some bills around here. So we want to let you know that this episode is sponsored by Kouassi Kustoms, your favorite handcraft boutique, and Mrs. Eddie's treats and desserts. So be sure that you follow, subscribe, share if you mess with us, and text us, stay in the loop, stay connected with us. Text Talk Black to 619-356-1029. So that's where we at. What we feel like having straight talk about today? There's been so much going on. You gotta be good.
I've been watching a lot of podcasts lately for some reason, and I've been also watching a lot of Kevin Gates. So there's this podcast he was doing. I don't even know the name of the podcast off the top of my head, but it was a podcast where he was talking. I think this was the podcast where he was talking about the semen retention topic and a couple other things.
Right.
But I was watching it and he said he was explaining a whole nother concept. He was going into depth about But one of the things that he said while he was, going more into depth about something else, it kind of it caught my ear, and so I posted it.
What he say? What you
said, post? How you fuck your woman in private is how she respects you in public.
What is that even supposed to mean?
What you mean? That means a lot to me. That means
debunk that. Debunk that for me.
What you mean? You mean like
what does that mean? What does that even mean?
Break it down.
Because when I first hear that, I'm like, what the fuck? Honestly, I'm like, what does that even mean?
The way that you fuck your woman in private is the way that she respects you in public. Meaning like, okay, this is how I look at it, right? When a man like genuinely takes care of his woman in private, right? And yeah, like generally speaking, like I'm talking about in the bedroom, right? When he like fully is very intentional about how he takes care of his woman, like that takes a lot of effort. You know what I mean? And from my own perspective, I feel like when you get that from a man, you automatically, like, in a sense, like give him like a certain level of respect, because it's him initiating that respect for you in the way that he handles you in private. And so when a woman feels safe and secure in that regard, I feel like it translates into the way that she like upholds how she feels about him.
But why does it have to be?
Translates to in public, right? The idea of like a man being a man, right, and having his woman with him. You hold him in a higher regard because he holds you in a higher regard, and he takes care of you and makes sure that you're good. And so it translates, right? So it's like this idea of what we do privately, like, allows me to like, ooh, like when I'm out here in these streets with you, man, ooh, that's my nigga. That's my nigga, and
because he's fucking you good in the bedroom.
Not just fucking you good, but the way that he takes care of you.
Yeah, but the way that gets me about the fucking you. Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
I get that, but it's deeper than that, and that's what I'm saying. Like, and that's why it's also important to highlight who it comes from, because I feel like
okay.
Kevin Gates is like he's a different type of thinker. He's not like your average man in the way that he thinks. His mind is a lot deeper than the average individual in the way that he just explores different things throughout the universe. So I feel like
also
just knowing who
how he values relationships.
It's not just the idea of just fucking your woman, right? Because that's how we've gotten into the tantric sex. We've talked about semen retention. A lot of those topics came from some of the footage I've seen of him, and going into discussion about how he views different things. You know what I mean? So it's not so much about just like fucking, right? But it's about that, like, that intimacy that you're creating with your woman, that like everything that you putting into her, that effort that you putting into her to build her up, or to, you know what I mean? Because, right, you not only are you fucking her, right, but you're pleasing her, you're being intentional, you're listening to her, you know what I'm saying? You're watching her, you're understanding her. Those are the things that make you like a good like lover. You know what I'm saying? And so if a man can master those things, I mean, me personally, that like the men in my life that have really taken care of me in that regard, it's just been a natural thing. It's been a natural thing. Like it naturally has just been like, you know what I mean? Like, I hold this nigga in a different regard because he's held me in a different regard. You know what I mean? Yeah, privately, publicly, yeah, we can get down to semantics, but at the end of the day, like, it just naturally makes you just be like, oh, I respect this nigga. I respect his effort. I respect how he handles me. I respect how he pays attention to me, how he listens to me, how he makes me feel, all of that. Because all of that can be seen in the way that a man fucks you.
I get where you're coming from. But what was throwing me off about the comment is like, oh, the way the man fucks you. I just think it should be generally, like you were speaking of, the way the man treats you privately. Because me personally, I'm not gonna just think about how you fuck me. How you fuck me is not gonna determine how I treat you in public. How you treat me in private, all aspects as a whole, like you were just stating,
I hear you.
is how I'm going to respect you in public. Because when I'm thinking about the fucking part, I think about like public, like what do they call it, like displaying your affection in public. Not everyone likes PDF. You know what I'm saying? But the way your man fucks you privately.
I think it's more about your perception of your man.
For some women.
But I think that's what the quote is describing when it refers to in public, right? It's like how the like your view. How do you view this nigga in regards to, like, how do you hold him up in comparison to other people? When you're out in public with this motherfucker, how does he hold up against everybody else? I respect this nigga.
I'm putting him on a pedestal because I
on
know
a
he's doing
pedestal.
XYZ
on a pedestal
in private.
Now I get what you're saying as far as just in general, yes. How he treats me, yeah, I agree.
Don't dumb down what I'm saying.
I just said I fucking agree.
No, but that, I get it. Don't get that. Sorry, that's sarcasm in your voice,
but like
my
I said, that's why I wanted to give context to the conversation, because where the sentiment, like where it came from, was within the context of a conversation about intimacy and sex. You know what I'm saying?
Like throughout the podcast, like what they were talking about.
It wasn't
like
a conversation about.
Came. Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't a conversation about general, general relationships, how you treat one another within relationships, but again, more within like the intimate setting. And like I said, when you look through that lens of how you handle your woman intimately, sexually, intimately, however you want to describe it. Like I said, it's a matter of semantics. Like it drives how she feels about you. Like I said, for me, when he said that, I was like, damn, like that shit, like you, like, yeah, like on point for me. Like it made sense to me. I can articulate what that shit means to me, because it makes sense. I've had niggas who I've been with who were not concerned about like making effort in regards to making sure that I'm taken care of, right? Mm-hmm. And then I've also experienced the opposite end of that. And if I...
Are we saying like sexually?
Yeah, sexually.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Intimately.
Okay, okay.
Intimately and sexually, right?
Okay.
Because that's two different things.
It's two different things, yeah.
But within that intimate space, that can be sexually, right? But there's men that put in effort, right? Again, right? Not just sexually, right? And these things can come up within that sexual space, right? But when a man listens to you, right? Within sex, that's important. When a man listens to you,
that's very important,
right? When he's giving you head and he's paying attention to the way that your body is moving, the way that you're, when you gas, but
listening to say, to you. Stay there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because you be leading them, right? But it's the listening, right? Within an intimate space with a woman, if you're listening, right, that shows a certain level of effort from a man. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things that play into a man being able to like master those things for his woman. And I feel like as a woman, if you witness a man put in that much effort into to satisfy you, like how could you not?
He'll go the extra mile.
Naturally respect him.
Yeah, he's going the extra mile to make sure that you're satisfied and that you're pleased. And I feel like that is you hit on the key point, what you were saying there. It's very important, like, especially in intimacy and sexually, that like when you are having sex and the man listens to you, because there's been time where it's like sexually where I'm just like, okay, I'm trying to guide the man and tell him how to please me. Like, okay, no, like, don't do that. Can you stay right there? And there's like, they're not listening. So at this point, I'm like, you're not concerned about pleasing me. You're concerned more about getting your pleasure, because I'm telling you what it is that I want. I'm telling you it is what I'm like, but you're not listening to me.
Or so caught up in it.
And you're so caught up that you're just
stopped to listen to you because they're just so they think that they've got it down pat.
Like,
right?
I know what I'm doing, please. But what another woman may like or want that you're used to, it doesn't mean that I'm going to like that or I'm going to want that. You know what I mean? Some men get so egotistical where I know that I'm putting it down in the bed. I ain't never got no complaints. But every woman isn't the same, and every woman doesn't likes different. Every woman likes different things. You know what I mean? Not every woman's the same. Mm-hmm. So I get what you're saying there in that regard. Like, I absolutely agree with that.
You have to understand her.
Understand her.
Right. There's been, like other episodes we've talked about, like knowing what turns you on, right? Every woman is different, right?
And know that sometimes someone's not going to be sexually compatible for you. How we were talking about last time, I was like, I don't think he was sexually compatible for me because he wasn't listening. One, he was so caught up. He wasn't listening, and he wasn't paying attention to my body language to tell like what he was doing. I wasn't feeling like it was making me uncomfortable in a sense. You know what I mean? Like, you have to pay attention to a woman's facial expressions. Like you said, how she moves, her gestures.
When she pulls back.
How she,
repositions. She's repositioning. And I don't mean come with her, nigga. She pull back. You stay the fuck there.
Just like stop.
She's adjusting.
It doesn't feel good.
She's adjusting so the shit starts to feel good.
Yeah.
But being able to like pay attention. Like I said, I've experienced situations where people like, a person in particular like really paid attention to those things, and like I said, when I stepped out with that motherfucker, like the level of respect that I had was on a different level.
Because I think it's also that thing, like, remember when it goes back to like a man putting it down where you're like,
that's what I'm saying.
You want to be like a man fucking you properly.
I ain't looking at no other nigga when we go out. I'm not like, ooh, who is she? And then I don't give a fuck.
Because I know at the end of the day, you're going to please me, and this man just wants to fuck me. He's not concerned about pleasing me, making sure I'm good and satisfied at the end of the day.
Or that don't even come into play because you ain't even fucking concerned with it because this nigga got you on lock.
Yeah, but that's what I'm just saying in general. You're not going to be peeking or looking or trying to see if the grass is greener on the other side, but you're not worried about it because, like we said, in private, he's fucking you properly.
The average female that is genuinely like taken care of, her eyes ain't wandering.
No,
you know what I mean. They're not.
She's not concerned because she's pleased.
Exactly.
She's pleased, and like I said before, I don't know if I mentioned before on one of the episodes or just in conversation how I believe like sex is for the woman, is not necessarily for the man. That's what I believe. I believe, yes, you should please the man, but at the end of the day, I feel that like sex is for the woman. It's not for the man. It's the man's job to make sure that he's pleasing and satisfying the woman, because I feel like we're the ones who bring like life into this world. We're the one who has to carry a child, and so you should be more concerned about.
I've been watching our episodes, and I noticed when I hear shit off the wall, I like leave my mouth open. This is one of those where I was like, I kept my mouth open. What the fuck? Okay, hold on.
I mentioned this before, and then you're like, well, what about the man? I'm like, fuck that. Everything is always about the man. That is just like some shit. Everything can't be about the man. Yes, women should suck their man's dick all the time, make sure he's good, cook him dinner, all this shit that a woman's supposed to do for a fucking man. But what about the woman? I always feel like it's always concerning, shit is concerned around the man. And I feel like a man will get his nut. He can 5 strokes later and he can come, but then what about the woman? She's not satisfied. You know what I'm saying? Like you have situations like that.
I agree
so
with
that's
that.
what I'm saying.
I agree with that.
Like, but well, a man's always going to get his nut at the end of the day.
That sex is just meant for the pleasure of the woman.
It's meant for the pleasure of a woman.
Bullshit.
It's meant. Sex is meant for women, men to please women, and that's what I believe.
Okay, so then if that's the case, then why is that not what happens at all? I mean, generally speaking, why is that not like
because just like we said, most men aren't attentive. They don't pay attention to all this shit. So it's like it's very rare. Like
it's a two-way street.
It is a two-way street when you get in the bedroom, but at the end of the day, I just feel like the focus is always concerned about pleasing men. That I feel like when it comes to sex,
that's where the adjustment needs to take place. But I don't. For me, I don't. I feel
like sex is
I don't
for
take
the
it as far as to say that.
Because a man's gonna go continuously hunt. Like women. Most women, I feel, don't have multiple sexual networks and partners like men do. You get what I'm saying? They can easily be satisfied. Like I said, some can, couple strokes, they'll be satisfied. But for women, it takes us more time to get that nut, to have that orgasm, more time and dedication. That's why I'm saying, like, when it comes to sex, like, it's about pleasing the woman. Because it takes more work to please the woman than it does to fucking please the man. You lick on their balls a little bit, they're nutting. But that's not necessarily the same for a fucking woman. It takes more work for us to have orgasm. It takes more work for us to have fucking bust nuts. So at the end of the day, sex is for a fucking woman because it takes more to please a woman than it does to fucking please a man.
Well, that last part is where you lose me. Like I agree with a lot of what you say in saying that, you know, it takes a lot of, again, effort, attention to detail, and focus to pleasure a woman. I guess my hang up is the idea that sex should
be for
a woman. Yeah, I don't agree with that part.
You don't have to.
Yeah, I don't agree with that part. I feel like it's
because I just don't agree. I'm just always hearing about everybody always talking about pleasing the man when it comes to sex. I'm just like, okay, but
I feel like
that's why
it's a two-way street.
I don't really state or talk too much about that, like what I feel and what I think, because I'm just like,
well, okay. So look at the other side of this. So if sex is so much meant for the woman, then why
it's meant for both
why
parties.
We got all these bitches out here that don't know shit about pleasuring themselves or shit about having expectations about being pleasured. So you know what I'm saying, that's where it kind of, I have a disconnect in that regard, because the average female is not even having sex for the purpose of pleasuring herself. So to go as far to say that
everyone has sex for different purposes. There's a lot of factors that go. But there's factors that go into. You're saying that a lot of women don't have sex as it is. That's what you just said.
No,
right?
I'm saying that a lot. The average woman is not out here having sex for her own pleasure.
So what is she having sex for if it's not for
the pleasure of
People
her partner?
People have sex for pleasure.
The average woman. Okay, so. I guess I'm
not laying down to have sex if I'm not being pleased.
Let me clarify what I mean by that.
Yeah.
When I'm talking about pleasure, like I'm talking about like a woman being fully satisfied, right? And in your average situation, a lot of these men are not out here fully satisfying women, and a lot of women accept that. Right?
Because they're not speaking.
They're not speaking up for multiple reasons. It could be because they don't even know what satisfies them. They're not even concerned with what satisfies them. You know what I mean? They're like a lot of women are having sex for the pleasure of their partner. I mean, that's why you have a problem with a lot of women that don't ever have orgasms. There's a lot of married women out here who have never experienced an orgasm, but they've been having sex with their husbands their whole married fucking life, right? And the whole point behind that is because they're having sex with their partner for their fucking partner's pleasure.
Yeah, well, the day I get married, I'm not going to be having sex just for my partner's pleasure.
Hell
so
no.
I feel like that goes and that's dependent on the individual.
So when I talk about pleasure, I'm talking about like full on like the completion of the process. I'm not talking about like just like fucking a girl for like 5 minutes, right? Any man could sit here and fuck you for 5 minutes, bitch. That's not satisfying. And if you think that that's satisfying, then you ain't learned shit yet. You get what I'm saying? So, but that's my whole point, is that a lot of women don't even fucking know what true satisfaction is. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these bitches is out here just fucking
doing stuff like you said to make, or just having sex. It's more not about them. It's more of like to get the guy, like just doing it because, oh, well, he'll like me, or to get him. Yeah, you know like they're just doing it because like, oh, I like him, and if I sleep with him, maybe like people do. Or even like for different reasons. Exactly, to keep a man around.
There's a lot.
You know what I'm saying?
This probably happens more with younger women, I imagine. But like I've had conversations in the past with somebody where like they were telling me about like, I mean, like how they could like easily just like fuck with a female and get their dick sucked, and like that was just like cool.
Like dick suck off GP? Like fellatio off GP? Like what you mean?
Yeah, like they could just, I mean, they could be fucking with the bitch and then she sucked their dick and then that just be the end of it. For me personally,
like, and they're just gone, like relationship, or just set, like,
or like
that's just
whatever.
it.
Like say they're hanging out, right?
And that's just it.
They're hanging out, whatever, wherever they're at. But she give him head, and that's the end of the sexual situation. You get what I'm saying? And that's tolerated.
That's what she allowed.
But me personally, you will never see me in a situation. I mean, I can't say never, because I would definitely give like somebody that I'm in a relationship with, I give them head and I don't need something in exchange, because that's not what
you want. Right? You want to please them.
Exactly, right? But like somebody I'm just fucking around with, or especially like casual sex, like I'm sure as fuck like not finna just like just fucking come over here, suck your dick and get up and go
and leave.
The fuck I look like, nigga, you finna eat this pussy before you know what I mean?
And that's what I'm saying.
We finna have like some reciprocal like energy taking place here. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not like I'm not finna just suck your dick and then like that's
you're not gonna
you want your dick sucked, just call me and I'll pull up and suck your dick, and you ain't never worried about the fact that you just gave me blue vagina every single time I came over here and sucked your dick. But that's the type of shit that be happening. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. To where these niggas.
But I feel like that goes with. That's the woman's fault. She gotta have some standards. She gotta have some standards.
That's my whole.
She gotta have some standards.
That's my whole point.
She gotta have some standards.
Yeah, because niggas is greedy, and they're gonna be greedy when you allow them to be greedy. So yeah, you can't blame men for that. You can't.
I started telling like at a point in time where, I'd be like, I would ask her like, oh, I would like, do you like it bald or kitty cat? Just to see like, oh, I like a bald. Okay, do you give head? Oh, no. Oh, well, that's a requirement. And I would be like, well, that's a requirement to mess with me, so maybe we're not going to be compatible sexually. Like, I would just have conversations, just talk about sex, have conversations about sex before it even leads to sex. Because sometimes I feel like the conversation before the sexual encounter is important, so you know what a man believes, because there's a lot of dudes out here that don't like to eat pussy. They don't like giving head to women. So it's like, if you don't like that,
and I'm not fucking with it,
I'm not gonna fuck with you, because that means you're selfish. Yeah, you're selfish in some kind of way. You're selfish, or I want you to want my ass so bad that you just finna eat my shit. It's two things,
and you gonna want to.
It's two things. Either you're selfish, or you've had something happen to you in the past that traumatized you. You know what I mean? Because people have their reasons to why they don't want to do things, but most of the time, men say they don't like it because they don't eat pussy because they don't like it, or maybe they've encountered or did it to someone who outside of trauma. Maybe they had the sexual encounter with someone who wasn't as hygienic. Maybe they weren't clean or something. You know what I'm saying? So it goes, but I feel like experiences. But I feel like that's why.
But there's definitely men out there who just don't eat pussy.
They just don't, and they're selfish. But it's like, what if you like this and get their dick sucked? But don't want to eat no pussy.
I'm like, before we go any further, I'm sorry, but I don't suck dick.
I suck it on holidays.
They're gonna be like, all right, I'm out of here. Bye, bitch. You get the
real
bill.
gone. Like you don't suck.
You get the bill, bitch. What the fuck you mean? You
What?
don't suck dick? No, but you know,
Right.
That me personally, when it
I be
comes
telling
to
nigga, it's a requirement. Okay.
it is a requirement, and
Shit.
it's not even just about just the head and like the pleasure that comes from that, but it's like a woman wants to feel wanted.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree.
Like, and not only that, like as a woman, you don't want to ask for head. At least me personally, I don't want to ask for head.
Do it.
I want my man to just want to eat it, just because he want to eat it,
And he wants to please me.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to ask for it. I want it, but I don't want to ask for it. You know, and so that's another thing.
I want you to be into it and enjoy it.
And have you ever had like the difference between like somebody who's like just giving you head because they, you know what I mean? Because it's like they kind of feel like they need to. Yeah.
They have to.
As compared to like a nigga that eat your pussy because like that nigga want to eat your pussy.
Yes.
Girl.
I told you had so good. I was running away from that shit. That shit was like he was doing like this some trick I ain't never like with his tongue. I was like, ooh, like yeah. Then I had something that was just like I'm just like, what are you doing? Like what are you doing, bro? Like stop, just stop.
I've had
to the point where it's like it just turned me off. Where I was just like, okay, if you're doing this because you don't want to, and then I can tell it hurts. You're not trying.
You sure he didn't think he was doing a good job?
That's a good question because some.
I don't think you probably had been in those situations where a dude was like, "Give me you head," because you haven't been in no like. Usually, you'll run into a situation like that when you in like a relationship and
what do you mean? I'll just give you some head just to give you some head.
No, more like, okay, because you really don't have too much experience with relationships, right? So usually if you're getting head, it's because the nigga want to give you head. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm more referring to like situations where you're in like relationships and you happen to be in a relationship with somebody who's not fond of giving head, right? And then you're more likely to be in a situation where it's like this nigga's giving me head because he knows I want it, but he don't necessarily like enjoy giving me head. You know what I'm saying?
I haven't had that. It's more been like they enjoyed it and maybe they thought they was doing a bomb job.
They wouldn't exactly.
Okay, you're right. No,
you know what I'm saying?
Because every dude that's done it like once has they.
So I've like personally experienced being in a relationship with somebody who like gave me head and gave me great head, but at the same time, like I still knew that wasn't their thing, and for me, that was the issue.
Hell yeah, that's the issue because I already know for you off GP,
but just
like
knowing
you that
that's not your thing. Like it's just like eh.
And did it turn you off? Was it like because you knew it wasn't his thing and he was doing it? Was it kind of like a turn off for you because you're just like, you know what I mean? Like the connection.
Exactly.
It's like the connection.
Look at it this way. It's not even that because like I said, like it was still good ass head. It still got the job done. Like I didn't have no issues with that, but. There were times, like, again, a woman, when I talk about a woman doesn't want to ask for head. You feel me? You want your nigga to want to eat your pussy. So there's a difference between, like, babe.
You want him to be like, come here, babe. Get over here, babe.
Yeah, or just fucking pull your ass up. You know what I'm saying? But there, it's a difference when you be like, hey, like, I want some fucking head. Nigga, get over here and do your job. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm talking about, them type of dynamics. Yeah.
You know that's awkward.
But listen. But there's, like I said.
Have you ever asked for head?
Yes, because I've been in
I've never asked for head before, so I've never been in an awkward situation where I've like, yeah.
So okay. So look, but the other thing. So I was gonna say, there's a difference between like a nigga who like just like is in your pussy regular, as compared to like a nigga that's like really fucking into it, like the way the nigga grab you. Like the way the nigga eat the pussy, like from the angle, which way, like how much he like really like, he'll go flat face all up in it, all up in the beard. You know what I'm saying? Like when a nigga like in it, that's the type of shit where it's like, okay, you know what I'm saying?
He's enjoying what he's doing, and the connection and the intimacy and all of that is there.
Yeah. And I love to be rewarded with head. I'm like a nigga.
You said reward?
I'm like a nigga. I be like, yeah, nigga. I'm finna get my pussy.
Shit. What? So when you cook the good dinner, you like to be rewarded with some bomb-ass head?
Fuck yeah.
For making this treat?
I'm not even playing. I am not even fucking playing. Would you? Yeah, you wouldn't want to be rewarded with head? I reward with head. You don't reward with head?
I guess I could.
Like when niggas like, when like, you know, a nigga I'm fucking with, he like do something, you know what I mean, really cool for me, or like, you know what I mean, I'd be like, I'm finna suck the shit out of your dick, nigga. Like, I'm finna, like, you already know you finna get some bomb-ass head.
Like, it's so funny that men crave head over actual. I feel like men crave head over actual penetration. Like, pussy.
Well, because they could just
I feel like they feel like women don't.
They can just lay there and enjoy it. Well, especially if it's a woman who know how to give good head.
Well, women can just.
If you know how to give good head, then it feel just as good as pussy, and the nigga ain't got to do no work. He just sit back and
he ain't got to do no work. So that's the
fucking king.
He ain't got to do no work.
You know what I'm saying?
And, yeah.
What kind of head do you give?
It depends. Like if I'm sober or lit. You know what I mean? Because I like to be like fun and spontaneous sometimes, and it also depends on the connection and the vibe and how much I really
you
like
get a sloppy
head. Not so much sloppy. Like not the
you be like dripping
not the porno
and shit.
Head. I mean enough
porno head.
I don't give like that porno head where they be just like it's all over the place. Like it's just I don't do sloppy. It's just.
I don't do sloppy. I've had situations where dudes like think they
that's what they want because that's what they see.
Yeah, or maybe that's what they've experienced.
I like to read articles and magazines and books and stuff, and then like kind of like use the tricks from there. Like
really?
Like looking at the anatomy, like. How I forgot what it's called. I can't even think about it. But like try different places.
Okay.
Like between the scrotum sac. Like I like to read the different tricks, like the sensitive areas and just doing it. But sometimes just like
do that shit. That feels good.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But like just like I like the Karma Sutra. So looking at the Karma Sutra, like I was saying, like I like penetrative sex, like deep penetration sex. So I like to look at the Karma Sutra and be like, okay, well, what position will this dude be able to do? Because I ain't no mini little girl. So he may not be able to pick me up. So I like to be intentional about how I please the person I'm with.
Well, that's good
depending on how the vibe that I have with the person.
That's good because then but
I also want to be comfortable with the person where I can be comfortable enough to boss their ass around because sometimes you don't be comfortable to boss them around in the bedroom, you know? So the man wants to be the dominant one in the bedroom sometimes. So I like to
sometimes.
Most of the time, I guess. I'll say most of the time. So I like to a man give his dominancy, but then I'll be like, can we try this or do this? Like, you know what I mean? Let's try this. And then we could be like, let's try that. And I'll start doing some, and yeah. So I do like to be intentional about it, especially because like I said, like, now I'm intentional about dating and who I'm sleeping with. I'm not just, I'm young, but I'm intentional now. So at the same time, it's about the vibe that I have with the person. And
so the vibe,
what I feel like that person might like or want to try.
Well, okay, so
you know what I mean?
So that
we'll
will
conversation.
Dictate the type of head that you potentially
It'll
give
dictate
him.
The potential positions.
How wild you suck his dick.
It'll dictate what I want to try. How wild I'm
talking about sucking his dick.
Feel comfortable. Yeah, all of that.
Okay.
Like what I'll be able to try, what he's open to. Like you want to do some ice cubes. You know what I mean? Like shit like that. Okay. Like having conversation and then being intentional. And then sometimes I'll just do shit just to see how the nigga react because just should by like be freaky kinky, like, you know what I mean? Something new, something fun. Or like I'll be spontaneous. Like there was one time someone I was dating, he was on the phone and I was being annoying and shit. I wanted the nigga get off the phone. So I just started giving him head so nigga get off the phone.
Yeah, I'm giving niggas head.
And I thought it was funny because the nigga was trying to talk. He was like, and it's just like, and you can hear the person on the phone like, bro, what's wrong with you? And it was just funny. Like, I'll do, goofy shit.
Have you ever got head
but I have to feel comfortable.
Phone?
Yeah, I have. And I was like, oh, girl, I gotta go. Just started like the same thing, like wanting me to get off the phone.
Yeah, you have niggas do that intentionally.
Yeah,
just
do it
because you're
intentionally.
on the phone.
Yeah. So like I've had that like with someone I've been dating seriously or whatever spice it up. I like try different stuff to spice it up because I get bored, like not just in the bed. I got ADD, so I be like, I don't want that boring just missionary how Summer Walker be talking about, or no, who is that? SZA. I don't want missionary getting boring, and that song. If you want to, I don't want to do missionary. That shit is boring. I don't want to just lay on my back. Can we try something fucking new? You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think it's...
I feel like most guys don't like to explore.
Listen, but it's also not even so much like about the position. It's really about like
sometimes
the experience and how you're connecting with each other. Because I'll tell you what, I don't give a fuck. I could be in the same position every time. It's about how you're fucking me, how you're paying attention to me, how you're talking to me while you're fucking me, the shit that you're saying to me.
I'll still get bored. I don't care. I'll be like, I love you, but baby, can we go to the side? I'm going to still be like, switch it up.
Yeah. Let me put my leg
I'm going to still be like, switch it up.
Yeah.
I'm going to still be like, switch it up. Because I don't know, that's just me. Because
ain't nothing wrong with that.
I feel like too, at the end of the day, like when it comes to that, that's very important. And that's what keeps, I feel like, is a factor or an element, not key, but could be key, that what keeps like your relationship intact from like someone not straying. Someone has to be willing to like break the normalcy in the intimacy, in the sexual whatever, and be willing to try new stuff, whether it's positions, whether it's bringing in toys, whatever it is that you guys decide to do. Because I feel like a lot of times in relationships, sometimes when I hear my friends talking to me, whatever it may be, we're talking about sex, whatever, I'm like, you're tired of doing the same shit. Like, you want to switch it up, so try something new. Like, go to the fucking porn shop, to the adult store together and look at toys, or try the shit. People are so used to just doing the same shit that they don't try to really spice it up a lot of the time.
Or it's just
what I mean?
Quo.
Like, or they don't feel comfortable, or they're too shy.
I know men that like legit like cheat on their wives because their wives like refuse to give head.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And they refuse to like live without head, and so they literally have a bitch just to give them head.
That's what I'm saying. There has to be compromise. Like, I wouldn't even marry someone. Why even marry someone who's not going to satisfy that? Because sex, like we said, is important in a relationship. Or you be like
mid-marriage, I'm not sucking your dick no more.
Like, I'll put you on timeout, but I'm not going to just... You're not going to just deprive me of something I feel like you should do.
You believe in timeout in a relationship?
Yeah, hell yeah. You piss me off, you ain't getting head for a month, 2 weeks to a month, depending on what you do. There will be consequences like that, but I'm never going to be like, I'm never giving you fellatio again.
I think that's wrong. I think
what they did was wrong to be on fucking punishment. So... there you go.
But I feel like when you're in a
if I'm mad, I'm not sucking
your
dick.
You're not supposed to use sex as a fucking tool.
Why not?
What do you mean, why not?
Okay,
we talking about war in a marriage.
If I'm still giving you, the good box,
I get it.
If I'm still giving you the good box, why do I have to give you this?
To make me want to fuck you.
I'm not gonna give you what you want. I'm not gonna give you what you want.
No, you can't.
I'm still gonna give you the juice box, but you may not get no head because you pissed me off, and I know that's what you want. So you in timeout. So you will legit, I would be pettily like that. So you
will legit like put your husband on head restriction for a month?
Not a month. I said 2 weeks or something. Nigga. I don't know. I just said a number. I didn't say I would do it for a month. I just said a number, hypothetically speaking.
Any nigga end up marrying this bitch, you come talk to me, she put your ass on head restriction. We gonna get this bitch ironed the fuck out, all right? I promise you, nigga. I promise, all right?
It would be like a week to 2 weeks. But it depends on how frequent we do the nasty and we get,
Okay, I can understand like if a nigga does like some extreme shit, but bitches just be holding a pussy on like some really basic ass shit, and I just think that's
I'm not gonna do that.
I don't think that's cool.
No,
I don't think that's cool. I feel like when you're in a relationship, I feel like it's your obligation to please your partner.
Well, yeah, especially so they don't go seeking it elsewhere.
Absolutely, yeah,
because that plays into it, and that's why I'm saying
the fuck I look like not satisfying my nigga. That's
why I was saying
I'll suck your dick, but that don't mean I want to suck your dick.
Yeah, but that's why I was saying
I'll still be pissed off. I might give you some angry ass fucking head, nigga, but I'm still gonna suck your dick.
But that's why I was saying I like to do a little research and stuff to keep it spicy, to find out new different things or new different little tricks or whatever that I can do to please my man. I'm willing to do that. You know what I'm saying? Get out my comfort zone. But one thing that I'm not willing to do, that I'm just like, I won't bend on, I'll like, I talk to people that I'm dating, and when we talk about sex or something, it's anal sex. Like, I don't like that. I don't want that. I don't want that. No, it's a hard ass no for me. I don't know if maybe that'll change later, but for me, I just feel like I have a vagina. Why you want to do that? So I feel like
you're more of a prude to it.
I'm not a prude to it. I don't want no.
Yes, you are. It's okay.
Well, if that's what you call it, a prude.
Well, more saying that like it's just like that's not your forte.
That's not my forte.
Like for me, for example,
I feel like if I had sexual restrictions in the bedroom, that's one for me.
For me, it's not a sexual restriction. It's
or
just,
whatever
it's
you
just,
want to fucking call it. Limitation.
I just haven't been able to get there. Like I had 3 motherfucking kids. Like my shit nice, tight, right. Like that carrying 3 motherfucking kids just changes your body to the point where it's like, I don't even know how the fuck you finna get up in that bitch.
Yeah.
Like to the point where it's like I'm open to exploring that. But at the same time, it's not something that I'm into.
Because some men want that, and I'm just like, I'm not into that.
I
can't bend on it.
Okay, so you're not open to it at all. So if you have
finger,
a partner,
the finger, and that's
the finger becoming too much for me at certain times. I'll be like, all right, that's when you get the tap.
Yeah,
fucking tap, nigga. You know what I'm talking about?
Stop?
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
All right, nigga, you doing too much.
You doing too much. like
that shit is intense. It's very intense. I would love to be able to get fucked in my ass. I'm not even gonna lie. I would love to be able to get fucked in my ass, and the shit actually feel good. But the process to get to the point of the shit feeling good, I'm like, I can't even start. So I can't start. This shit hurts too much.
I'm like, it hurts. Yeah, I was honestly. That's what I didn't want to say. I wanted to said it for me. It just hurts. Like I just can't.
Okay, but that's different from being completely closed off to it.
Now I don't know what you call it now. I don't know, but I don't know. Like
Okay, so there's a difference between like that's not your thing. That doesn't turn you on. It's not what gets you going, right? But if you're with the man, right,
and that's what he wants,
are you telling me you're not gonna at least like embark on that path with him at all? You're not gonna explore no butt plugs. Bitch, you do a finger. So if you do a finger, bitch, you'll do a butt plug. And if you do a butt plug,
what the fuck?
You'll do a fucking dildo, bitch. If you do a dildo you'll do
too
a
big.
Dick. So what are you talking about?
Dildo too big.
What are you talking? Okay, but that's why you work your way up.
I don't want to work my way up.
You start with a finger, bitch.
I want my booty hole to be. I want it to be tight.
I feel the same way. I
don't want to mess there.
But okay,
I feel like that's the only boundary. Like for me, that is the boundary. Like for me, that's the boundary. Like I can go as far as, like you said, to maybe a finger, but the blood plugs and gradually going up, like that's something that I'm not willing to bend on.
Okay.
Like, so that's why I'm saying enough. Like I feel like it's important to have conversation when it comes to sex. Like we were saying, like most women don't know what it is they want. How freaky are you? Because you telling me you're a freak, but how much of a freak? Because I'm a freak, but I'm like a 5'6" freak. Like, what kind of freak? I'm like a 5'6" freak. And on the scale of 1 to 10, I'm in the low podium side. You know what I'm saying? But
5'6"
I said I'm on the low podium side. But at the end of the day, I'm willing to try. But everybody has their own definition of what a fucking freak is. So I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm freak, like genuine freak or whatever the fuck. Nah, like it takes a point for me to get maybe to a freak hoe status like 10 to be comfortable with this person to make me open, make me feel vulnerable, because you have to you have to like be vulnerable. And for me, it's hard for me to be vulnerable, period, in any aspect.
Well, my freakiest moments have been in long-term relationships. So there's certain parts of my sexuality that like, you know,
how the fuck did we get here to the freak
of my
leader?
Sexual partners have never even touched the tip of. You know what I'm saying? Like the partners that I have been able to go there with and even explore things that are not your norm are people that I've been with for a long time. And so it's like, it's more of a progression of your sexual relationship. You don't just start with somebody with all that freaky shit. Like that's a little bit weird. Like, you know what I mean? Like certain things, it's like nigga, I don't even know you like that. I gotta be comfortable with you. I gotta feel fucking hella secure. I gotta trust you in order to do certain things with you. Like, like even to be like,
some men be too rough.
Like I mean, like I said, like you may got certain limitations. I don't really have no limitations. If I could fucking handle it, I'm open to it. But at the same time, I'm not finna be open to it unless you're somebody that I trust, somebody that I know respects me and loves me and
I
cares
feel like
about me.
A part of me doesn't know if, like, sometimes, because like I said, I'm a public health. I taught about STDs, teach about sex, and then like I taught about like, you know, HIV and, you know, all that shit. So sometimes I feel like, do I know too much about like sexual health and STDs that makes, like, I feel like that puts that little, not, I wouldn't call it fear, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like that kind of puts that like, I don't know. That's why I feel like with the anus, I just like, I don't know, because that's just too much risk of bleeding. I'll be thinking about all of that too. So I'll be like, yeah, no, I don't want.
Thinking about like, if I be getting fucked in my ass, like, what about when I get old? Like,
yeah, and I'm just like, but these are the things that I teach about, that I would teach about in the mobile van to be talking about.
And I'm good.
And I'd be like,
I'm good.
No, I'm good. Sometimes people be like, maybe you just fucking know too much, which is why I'm like, sometimes maybe it is, but I don't feel comfortable. But I feel like, but those are some of the realities. And I just feel like, for me, I'm just like
doing shit
not comfortable
and not even realize like the long-term effects that it could have on like your body.
And that's what I think about. Like, it's the fucking,
absolutely fucking right,
health professional side of me sometimes that I feel like limits me in the bedroom. That like sometimes that makes me not want to do certain things, but like I said, that will make me balance. But it makes me like to research, read about different positions, penetrates like different ways to please
so it helps you
a woman.
So it helps me.
Like I feel like it holds me back. Like it's like
I can't be that freaky.
But then I'm like, some days
I know too much. Like, I can't do that because I know what that can do to you.
And I be like,
I know what that can do to your bladder.
Even before, sometimes niggas be getting mad because I be like, did you wash your hands? Because yes, I'm just saying, because your nails is long. Can you cut them nails? Your nails is kind of dirty. Like, you're not gonna be playing in this clean thing because mine is sensitive. Like, no. I'm like, men, like some people don't even know. I'd be like, okay, is your beard clean? Whatever, because that shit can get you giving me head. You can get
nigga. Do you brush your teeth?
Do you brush your teeth?
Nigga, because you're not going to be eating my pussy if you don't be taking care of your oral hygiene.
Oral hygiene, your beard hygiene, you're washing your hands,
all that,
cleaning your fingernails, like. Dudes just be trying to be all up in your shit. Nah, go wash your hands.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So like, it's just a lot of factors too.
Like, I don't like being finger banged.
Yeah, it's just
I don't like fingers in me. I don't like nothing in me except for dick.
Yeah, because that's why I'd be like, can you stop? Like yeah, there's other ways.
I'll if a dude is really into it, I'll allow it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I'll allow it. Especially if he's like eating my pussy, you know what I mean? And I'm like, all right, it kind of offsets it. You know what I mean? But like, I just don't enjoy that. It doesn't feel good to me. And all I be thinking is like, nigga, like your fingers are in me. Like,
why you have a penis?
Well, and they just feel
foreplay, but I just be like,
foreplay, yeah, but the shit, like, to me, it doesn't feel good. If anything, like, for me, fingers hurt.
Really?
Yeah. I know, isn't that weird?
Well, maybe they not doing something right or something. It hurts.
No, that's consistent with any partner.
See, everybody's different.
Yeah, to where like I don't, like I said, unless I'm getting head. And then the niggas like
at simultaneous, yeah.
Then it offsets the pain. It's just more of an intense head for me. But like if a nigga's just like thinking that he's doing something by like finger made me know, it's a way to kind of turn me off.
Okay, so you're saying that what is the longest time if a woman does want to punish her man by not giving him head? A week?
You shouldn't be punishing your nigga by not giving him head.
But why not?
Because that shouldn't be.
Is that petty? Do you think that's petty?
Yes. Okay. I think that when you use sex, like when you give and take, and it's provided on like conditions, I feel like it's easier for infidelity to creep in. Because that person on the opposite end doesn't feel as if you take that responsibility seriously as far as them being satisfied. Like just because you're fighting doesn't mean that this nigga doesn't have needs.
Right.
And because you're mad at him, I understand like in the moment, like, nigga, don't touch me. Like, I get that. But to intentionally be like, nigga, your consequence is you're not getting your dick sucked for 2 weeks. Like, that to me is just like, you shouldn't use sex like that in a relationship. It's the wrong way to use sex. Right? Because then you're assigning like this, like, tit for tat, like, understanding of your sex life. You know what I mean? Like, you do this and I do that. You do this and I do that. And I'm going to take this shit away from you. You know what I mean? So, and you don't you just as a woman, you don't want to be dangling shit like that for your nigga. Like at the end of the day, for me, it's my responsibility to satisfy my nigga and it's his responsibility to satisfy me. So this nigga could be mad at me all he wants to. If I'm fucking horny, nigga, come give me some dick. I don't give a fuck. Get it together. I don't give a fuck what you got to do, nigga. Give me some dick. You can fuck me angry as fuck. I don't give a fuck, but you're my dick, so come give it to me, right? And I feel like that should be like it should be a mutual thing. But,
well, you real mature.
Well, I mean, even like my whole perception on like sex, like especially like in a marriage, like I feel like if your partner has needs,
you can speak from that aspect. Like right now, I'm like I'm not in a committed relationship to where I could say I was just hypothetically speaking to where I could be like I don't know what I'll do in a relationship just yet. I haven't really done that when I was in one. Like get mad. It's just more of like. Yeah, I ain't talking to you. Please don't touch me, type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, cause I'm just mad.
You definitely have those
but
moments.
me, when I get mad at someone, it's because the extreme, like, the things that I've gone through. So it was just like no return type of shit. But I see what you're saying. Like, if it's just marriage, in marriage, you're gonna have disagreements all the time. And when you guys have that disagreement, you shouldn't use sex as a fucking way to punish your man because y'all can decide on who was picking up the kids or some simple shit that y'all got into an argument about.
Now you're interrupting that bond between that sacred bond.
I see what you're saying.
Between the two of you.
I agree. Now that you break it down like that,
even with sex within a marriage, like I have very like particular views about that. I feel either side of it, right? This even goes into like fantasies, all that, right? I feel like nobody should ever go through their life or go through a marriage where they have needs or desires that are not met. I do not believe in that at all.
Yeah, like why would you want to be with someone who's not That's the whole part of companionship.
But I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about being in a marriage where you don't have good sex with your partner or you don't have a good sex life. You can be with somebody and you can have sexual desires outside of what they provide you or outside of what they're capable of providing you with. And I feel like within a marriage, I feel like on one side, it's your responsibility for that person who has those desires or those things that they'd like to explore. I feel like it's your responsibility to be honest about it and open and communicative about it. And on the receiving end, I feel like the other partner is responsible for being open and exploring how do we make sure that your needs or your desires are met. And I feel like if you operate like that in a marriage when it comes to sex, because it's like the ultimate like selflessness that's being like, you know what I mean, provided back and forth across the relationship. And it has to be something that is, again, it has to be reciprocal. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm going to make sure that my husband's needs are met, whatever they are, whatever they look like, however that needs to take place. And I want my husband to do the same for me.
Of course.
Right? So if my husband wants a threesome, then I'm going to give him a threesome. Right? If my husband
not me,
has this overall desire,
it's a hard no for me. Okay,
right? And I'm talking about that shit. I'm talking about being selfless, right? And I'm not saying that these are conversations that are just.
I feel like that ruins marriages.
These are just easy, right? But at the end of the day, if your husband wants it, are you okay with allowing your husband to go with a need that is or a desire?
Well, that's why I said there's going to be conversations before you're even my husband for it to lead to that. Because if that's something that you want.
You need to go. He's like, need fuck, to go I want to have a threesome.
It's not happening.
It's something I would like to explore.
If that's something he wants to explore, well, it won't be explored with me.
Okay, well,
that's not something I'm willing to do the day when I get married.
That's just one example.
Yeah, that's
just one example.
But I know that people in marriages do that.
Exactly.
Though.
So, and for me personally, I feel like that is selfish. To not be open to exploring that with your partner. I feel
like that needs to be something you explore with your partner before y'all get married, period. When you get married, don't bring other people in your bedroom. That shit causes problems. That's my stance on that. And when I get married, like the day I get married, the day I commit to a person, I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna make sure that I have these conversations. It's good. I would say, but wait.
It could be anything. Let's say it's not a threesome.
But I'm saying that you brought that up. I hear that a lot.
Say you're mid 5 years in a marriage, and all of a sudden this nigga is highly interested in fucking you in your ass. You're telling me that you're not going to have that conversation with him. You're not going to explore at all, like trying to provide him with that.
Hypothetically speaking, that's what I'm saying. 5 years later down the line, why are you going to want that shit 5 years later if you didn't want that shit 5 years before?
Are you serious? Do you know how sex progresses in relationships?
Evidently, I don't.
Okay. So when you're in a relationship with somebody, like especially, bitch, you sitting here talking about how you fucking get bored, bitch. Shut the fuck up.
I'll get bored, but I just said that anal sex is something that I don't fuck with.
No, listen.
I don't fuck with that shit.
You say that now.
I say that now, based on experience. But
I'm telling you, say that now, right?
No.
But think about this. Think about being in a sexual relationship with somebody for 5, 10, 15 years. You're having sex with the same fucking person, right? At a certain point, you go from having like regular sex, and then it progresses as you guys connect more with each other and as you have more time with each other. And that's where you start seeing couples that are open to exploring new things sexually because their relationship has elevated to that level. And that's what I'm talking about. You don't just start that freaky shit when you first meet somebody. That freaky shit comes after there's been commitment. That freaky freaky shit comes out
and
there.
then people who do all that freaky shit that I hear, that I've seen, that I experienced,
you're not going to be with a man
they don't
for 5,
end up,
7
they don't
years
be together no more.
And tell me that you're
They're
not going
no
to make sure that his sexual needs and desires are met. And
I never said that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. You keep fixating on the fact that, when we understand when you're with someone, all sex progress, all that shit. But when you're saying, what I'm hearing you decode saying that sex progresses either to inviting someone else into your bedroom,
I'm not
or
saying
ain't no
that.
sex.
I'm saying it could be you exploring toys together. You guys fucking going to fucking sex parties. There's a plethora of shit that you can elevate to sexually that you will never even tap into when you don't even know somebody like that.
But when you talk about elevating in sex, all these things, like going to sex parties, right? That's basically people having orgies. That's still inviting someone else into your bedroom. These are things that
it's not.
These are
it's not, because you can go to sex parties. There's people that like to just go and watch.
Go and watch. Okay. But some people, a lot of times, they want to bring. You're not going to keep watching for so long. You know what I'm saying? People like to watch and then, want to see their wife get fucked or something. And then that's still bringing someone into the fucking relationship.
You still have your own boundaries that you create for your relationship.
But I'm saying,
every relationship
the fact that I'm still trying to make that when I feel like when sex progresses, it progresses to inviting someone into your bedroom, or you doing something that you're probably not comfortable doing, that you're, like you said, you're just doing it to please your partner. You know what I'm saying? Which is why I'm saying,
when you're married, when you're at that point of when you're married, there are going to be a lot of things that you do to please your partner. That's a part of a marriage. The shit that I'm talking about with these bitches running around having casual sex. When I'm talking about casual sex, yes, bitch, what the fuck are you doing running around having all this casual sex for nothing? Bitch, bust a nut. That's what I'm talking about. But when you're in a marriage, there's some selflessness that has to play into your marriage if you want your marriage to last. If you want your husband to actually be bought into you sexually, yeah, bitch, you're gonna have to progress as time goes. And yeah, nigga, you're gonna have to progress as time goes, because just as much as you satisfied her and you were the fucking apple of her eye in the beginning, shit changes. Shit gets old. You got to switch it up. You got to explore new shit. Just like you kind of said, you're already like that in the beginning. Imagine being with somebody for 10 years. You're going to switch it up. Of course, you're going to switch it up with what you're comfortable with. But I'm telling you, what you are comfortable with year 1 is not going to be the same shit that you're comfortable with year 10. I fucking absolutely guarantee it. And I'm a prime fucking example of that. The shit that I was open to exploring with my husband when I met him when I was fucking 19, as compared to the shit I was open to exploring with him up until I was in my fucking 30s, completely different.
But you only did
completely different.
Was it more you only did it to satisfy your partner, or you did it because it's something you wanted to do?
There were things that he would want to explore. There were things that I would bring to the relationship that I would want to explore, and we would partake on that together and explore it together. Whether or not that ended up being something that I enjoyed or not, that's what I'm talking about. Is when you're in a relationship, when you're in a solid relationship, especially when you're in a marriage, you have to have that type of selflessness that plays into your situation in order to ensure that your partner's needs are met, your partner's desires are met. Me personally, I don't want my husband, I don't want my spouse walking around with desires or needs that are not met. I want to be able to facilitate that. I feel like that is my responsibility. And me, I feel like whatever that fucking looks like. And the average woman is not like, their boundaries may be a little bit tighter in that regard, right? Mm-hmm. To where, like, for you may not be that type of person who can say whatever that looks like, right? But to a certain degree, right, I'm sure you're still like, hey, my husband, there's so much that I'd be willing to do with you or to explore with you. You know what I'm saying? So every woman is going to have like the boundaries that they create. Right. I'm just the type of woman I'm a little bit more fucking open. So there's not too much where I have a certain bond with you. There's not too much that I wouldn't at least try. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But again, every woman and every man has that right to kind of, again, create their cutoff, right? But again, you still have to balance that in a relationship with your spouse and what their needs and what their desires are. For example, let's go back to the bare minimum. You're in a relationship with somebody and they have a desire to get head. Are you going to take that on as your responsibility to make sure that they get that desire met? Now, say that you're a woman who does not give head, and you're adamant for whatever reason, I'm not giving you head, right? What trauma after the fact of us being married, or whatever. The fact is that I'm not giving you head, and you want head. For me, what's this? Do you think that there's a solution to that?
You as a woman not wanting to get head?
I'm telling you, as you're my husband, I'm not sucking your dick. We're married. I love you. I'll fuck you. I'm not sucking your dick. You telling me, but I want my dick sucked.
If I was a man, we wouldn't even be married.
But we're gonna stay married. So what's the solution? Or as a woman, I don't want my husband to leave me, right? I want to make sure that you know what I'm saying? I want him to be happy, but I'm not sucking his dick. Where's the compromise?
They would have to go to fucking counseling. That's all I got to say. Go to therapy and work that shit out. And fucking compromise. Or
my compromise
go get a fucking grapefruit like Tiffany Haddish on fucking Girlfriends. Put that motherfucker on there.
And he's like, no, I need head. I need real head. I need oral copulation.
They need therapy because why that?
And she's like, no, I'm not.
Why he married that girl? He knew he was gonna get that, and that's what he wanted.
So you see what I'm talking about? How we differ, right? Your solution is counseling, right?
I said I don't know. I said go to counseling. I don't know.
You don't know?
Can't answer that.
Is there anything else in your head that would be on the table to at least explore?
For them to compromise? Mm-hmm. In a situation like that, like I said, they would have to bring somebody else into their marriage.
Okay.
Because if she's not sucking dick, you're saying grapefruit's not an option. Going to counseling's not an option. Like I said,
I'm just saying.
Like they would have to fucking bring,
because a grapefruit is not a solution. A grapefruit is not going to suck his dick.
Like she can ask. You know what I'm saying?
Counseling is not going to suck his dick. So where is the solution?
That's what I'm saying.
As his wife, where's the solution?
Like I said, if I was the nigga,
what the fuck is
he should have never fucking married the bitch because he knew he wasn't going to be surprised. But if they're married and the bitch is saying this shit, they should have never got. You're not hearing me. I said you're posing this hypothetical question. I said they should never got married. But if this is the case and they got married, I said they would have to bring. They probably would have to bring. They would have to bring somebody into their marriage or something. I don't fucking know. But why would the marriage change to where she's just like she changes all of a sudden where I'm not sucking dick?
Bitches do it. But
that's not a good example for me.
My whole point. Look, my whole point in bringing any of these hypotheticals up to begin with is the idea is that when you're in a marriage and like I believe that it's your responsibility to make sure that your spouse's needs are met. Right.
Well, who else's responsibility is this supposed to be?
For me,
that's your man. That's your husband.
If you create that type of open space for your spouse, then it's, and again, this also depends on the spouse, right? Because not everybody will take heed to that open space. You feel me? Right. But if you at least create that open space for your spouse, then you at least have done your part as a spouse to where
there's sex toys that suck dick.
If there's issues there, that you've given them that open space to put them on the table. Sometimes them toys don't do it. Sometimes you could have been there.
You was asking me to come up with answers.
Sometimes you doing shit.
Did you see that rose shit I showed you earlier? She can go get one of them motherfuckers. Shit, that's a solution.
Oh goodness,
a possible one.
Oh goodness. I'm just saying we gotta be solutions based. I'm just saying those are the types of things that like really come into play or should come into play when you're talking about like being committed to somebody, especially like long term. You know what I mean? Like it's a whole nother
But
fucking
I feel like
ball
for
game.
me, I feel like that's where like a lot of like I don't know, communication comes in and like actually getting to know your partner and like maybe potentially, like I said, like certain things should be explored before you get married. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like when you get married and you explore those things, like I was saying, that breaks the marriage. Sometimes that's not always good. Like as you're saying, oh, it progresses. Like when you're with, sometimes people are together for years before they even get married. So I feel like before you get married, and you're together like 2-3 years, those are the 2-3 years that you need to be progressing sexually to see where you guys are at, to see where the cap is before you get married. You know what I'm saying? And do certain things, because I just feel like once you get married, honestly speaking, me, how I feel, there's certain things that.
But once you get married, do you stop growing? Do you start evolving?
No, that's not what I'm
saying.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying my aspect and how I'm looking at it, and just based off of just like I said, like seeing people not experiencing and seeing shit, and you know, like that. That's what I'm saying. Like if possible, if you can do all of that before you get married. Like I said, people are together fucking hella long years before they get married. So I'm like, why? So I'm like, why are you waiting till you get married to explore this shit? Why you guys been together 8 years before you got fucking married? You didn't think to explore and progress before y'all got married? That's my point. You know what I'm saying? Like you would think that most people explore and try to progress and do these things up until the point that they get married, because a lot of people, I
think you're missing the whole point.
Most people are together.
I think you're missing the whole point, though.
Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. Maybe your point, the point that you're trying to make, I'm not getting.
Can I talk about the point that I feel like you're missing?
What? Because
I feel like you may be missing this again, because it goes back to like that experience of being with somebody for a prolonged amount of time. Right?
That's what I said.
But listen, what I'm saying is that. Like think about the idea of like when you just meet somebody, like how the sex is, right? As compared to like after you've been like having consistent sex with them for like 6 months or a year, right? It progresses. Like the sex gets better, the connection gets better, it gets deeper, right? You probably are able to be way more connected and sexually satisfied by that person that now knows you to a certain degree after these 6 months as compared to when you first started like fucking them, right? So just take that into context, right? So with that in mind, now think about like a marriage, okay? Like over time, when we're talking about like years, you go from being with somebody for 1 year, now you're at 5 years, now you're at 10 years, now you're at 15 years. Like you're the way that you connect with somebody, it progresses, and it becomes so like it can become so deep to where it opens you up as a couple that you are able to explore different avenues of stuff, to where there are things that may have been of concern, right? Whether it's jealousy or whatever, how you view things. Like it could be just the where you started at with one person at year one. I can almost guarantee you will view them, you will perceive their actions, and you will be open to exploring things with that person on a whole nother level, completely different at year 10, year 15 as compared to that first year. So it's like a certain connectedness that you grow to with somebody, that you're not going to tap into that. You're not even going to really kind of.
So you're saying you can only tap into that when you're married?
I'm talking about when you're with somebody for a long time.
But that's my point too. I didn't miss the point, because I said people are together a long time, usually before they get married. So, like, take marriage fucking out the equation. You're still together with that person. Just like you said, you grow, you connect, okay? And we bring marriage back into the equation. You grow, connect with that person, 2-3 years, your experience, your connection, the sex get better. Why is it that when, like, setting the examples, like the marriage part, bringing the marriage and being with them 10, like it doesn't matter whether it's marriage or not.
Yeah,
like when you're with someone, I was saying, okay, when we bring marriage in, when you're with someone, there's gonna come a certain time that something shit is gonna fuck up the marriage. That's basically the point I'm trying to make. It doesn't matter how long you're together with a person. Of course you're gonna progress in sex, but if you bring in marriage into that, and then the person wants to explore more, and maybe they should, like, this was before they didn't reach their cap, or like you said, what if they all of a sudden they want to stop, they don't want to suck dick no more. Shit happens, they get a medical condition and they can't fuck no more, or you change, maybe you just change, at 19 is not maybe what you go at 29. Into menopause. There's different things that fucking can happen. So,
or like, I
don't feel like that's the point at all.
What if you're amidst a long-term relationship? We don't even have to put marriage in it, right? What if you're in a long-term marriage or situation with somebody and you get sick and you're not able to satisfy them sexually? Are you saying that you want this person to be with you for the rest of your life and take care of you and be there with, no, but let me just talk. Be there with you through your illness and everything, and that as a part of that, you're okay with them going through their life not being sexually satisfied because your health doesn't allow you to do so. So the only reason why I bring things up like that, because when you're in a marriage or when you're in a long-term situation, and usually a marriage, because those are more of those binding situations where you're kind of a little bit more stuck, right? And you experience these types of situations that you have to navigate through. You have to be able to be at least be open to exploring other avenues of making sure that you're both straight, regardless of the situations that life throws at you. Like you said, it could be health issues, it could be whatever, but because something happened to me health wise, and I no longer want to have sex, or I no longer am capable of having sex, and that's no longer a part of my life because of my health problems, does that mean that my husband no longer has a sex drive and doesn't deserve to be satisfied? No, it doesn't. And that's where I feel like those are those avenues that you have to be able to explore when you're in a long-term situation with somebody. It doesn't have to necessarily be a marriage, but I'm talking about like a committed situation where you're committed to working through like those more difficult parts of life. You know what I mean? Where you have to access that selfless part of yourself in order to navigate your relationship. Because again, at the end of the day, like I have me and my spouse has them. We're two individuals at the end of the day. We both have our own needs and desires, and those will change throughout the years. But how do we navigate that together? You know what I'm saying? But you have to be open on both ends to be able to navigate that as your relationship changes throughout the years. Otherwise, you're not going to make it. You know, like I said, you could be in a situation where what somebody was interested in at year 1 is different than what they're interested in at year 5. And are you open to exploring that with them? Or are you just going to tell them, oh, well, I don't give a fuck that you changed. You know what I mean? You shouldn't have changed. You shouldn't be interested in this now. And so you just sit there and don't be fucking interested in it now. I don't give a fuck that you are, because we're going to keep doing the same thing we've been doing since year 1. That's to me, that's like, it's not a productive way to operate in a relationship. It doesn't have to be a marriage, though. You know what I mean? But I do think that things are different. Like when you're just fucking with somebody more casually, or even where it's like not like so committed, where it's more like a more simpler, not so serious relationship, as compared to when you're in a relationship that's like really like long term. Mm-hmm. I mean, but you're right. Like marriage doesn't define or like change things. That's just more when you're like, right, when you go into marriage, it just makes. Like,
it just makes it difficult when different situations like this arise. It just makes it more difficult because it's not you're married. It's not easy to just walk away from this shit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So that changes the dynamic.
Like you got to work it out.
It changes the dynamic,
and that's the only part that marriage brings to the situation.
Yeah,
is like
it changes. You got to
figure. You got to figure out like what works for both of us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then that's really the only reason why.
Because at the end of the day, someone has to sacrifice.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. But not even that just somebody, but we have to compromise.
Or selfless compromise.
We have to both compromise. Yeah. And that also too is that where it's so important that those two people align in that regard, because you can have somebody who is so willing to compromise and this person isn't meeting them halfway. And that's how you can have a situation where you're in a marriage with somebody who they'll give you that space, right? Where they were like, babe, if you want a threesome, just come to me, just talk to me, just tell me what you need and we'll make it work, right? Mm-hmm. But then you can have a situation where that person is not even at that place to where they can even be so honest with themselves to where they can come to you and tell you, hey babe, I want a threesome. You get what I'm saying? Right. So you could, it has to align. You both got to be there in order for that ideal situation to work. You know what I'm saying? But it's possible.
And on that note, like she said, y'all, it's possible. It's another one with Fineapple Kouassi and Miss Cakes. Thank you for tuning in and listening. Make sure that you follow us on all streaming platforms. Share, like, subscribe. Follow us at Talk Black on all social media platforms. Text Talk Black to 619-356-1029. Episodes drop every Sunday at 10:32 p.m. So tap in. Thank you for listening. Love, peace, and happiness. We out, y'all. Smooches.